Thank you for your interest to be a part of this revolutionary, disruptive collaboration between the Real Agents of Change and the Community Foundation community. I'm going to play a video for you to start introducing you to Rick Peck. Rick Peck is and he actually, we have to get these people's titles right. He corrected me yesterday in how I've been introducing him. So let me say it right. He is the VP of Development and Philanthropy Services at the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation. And Rick and I met about 4 months ago. Realty Gift Fund, our collaborative nonprofit who makes all of this so easy, was doing a Zoom that Rick was hosting. And I sat in on it as a fly on the wall. And there were 40 or so people on that Zoom, all of which understood gifts of real estate, all who had met Realty Gift Fund, all who want more gifts of real estate, but are kind of stuck and don't know what to do. So I reached out to Rick, and Rick said to me, Cami, I've been in nonprofit for 18 or so years. We've been doing gifts of real estate. I've tried to talk to realtors, and realtors aren't wanting to do anything. And I said, well, Rick, we've got a ton of realtors who are trying to do something with nonprofits, and the nonprofits aren't wanting to do anything. So we put our peanut butter and chocolate together and said, hey, let's train up some of your realtors to be introduced warmly. And we all know how good a warm introduction is as opposed to a cold call. So that's what we're here for today. And the reason that you need to qualify and the reason that you need to commit to some time is because this is not just about Rick's reputation introducing us. This is not just about The Rock and how it makes us look out in the marketplace, but friends, every one of these community foundations represents hundreds or thousands of nonprofits in your marketplace that can now open their ears and open their eyes. And collectively, we can all bring in hundreds of millions and billions of dollars because of these introductions. So I need people that want to take it seriously, that are turned on, jacked up, ready to go, want to be a part of this. So let me just share my video with Rick from yesterday so you know who we're playing with. For you, if you're seeing this video, it's because you're a real agent of change and you're part of the Community Foundation initiative. And I want to personally introduce you to the man who is making this possible for us. Rick Peck and I met, about 4 months ago. We were on a Zoom that he was hosting with our partners, Realty Gift Fund. And when he found out that there were real estate agents in this country who want to help with charitable real estate, and I found out there was a sophisticated nonprofit community foundation that was looking for realtors to help around the country, we put our peanut butter and chocolate together, and we've created this program. Rick, will you share with our realtor friends, why are we doing this? What are we looking for them to bring to the table, and how is this going to help everyone?
So community foundations, the larger ones that I'm a part of. So to give you an example, large community foundations are considered those with assets of $500 million or more. They usually will have sophisticated policies accepting non-cash assets, such as closely held stock, appreciated securities, life insurance, tangible personal property, and real estate. But many times, as sophisticated as we are in accepting these gifts of real estate, we're not getting enough volume. So I would go around, and I have gone around talking to real estate agents who are perfectly nice, and they understand and accept and embrace the idea of real estate giving, but then the volume doesn't seem to happen. So we're sort of sitting here going, I wonder who we're supposed to talk to about this. And so when I met Cami, I was like, where have you been all my life? You are out there training people to identify opportunities to send to nonprofits, such as community foundations, which help many, many nonprofits. And so why would we not want to know each other and see what can happen, see what what good things can come from this. So you're all eager to send gifts of real estate and find opportunities to embrace what this is all about with community foundations and nonprofits. And we, as community foundations, want to accept these gifts of real estate. So it's a match made in heaven. And I think it's just a matter of seeing where this goes. So community foundations that you might approach are going to fall into two different categories. They're going to be like my peer group, which we call the Amelia Group. We are ready, willing, and able to accept gifts of real estate. Then there are going to be community foundations that are still not quite there yet. They may not have a policy in place. They may not have actually accepted a gift of real estate yet, so they're a little bit skeptical. Both of these audiences are going to be there for you. And I've already started to facilitate introductions between Rockstars and community foundations, my peer group, and they're very excited to meet the Rockstars and just understand what's next. So this is in some ways virgin territory because, you know, these groups haven't met each other yet, but I guarantee you that once all systems start firing and people start seeing the value of each party, that we're going to start seeing more potential gifts come in, more things being presented, and the net proceeds will go and do amazing things and make the kind of impact that we're all hoping to make in the United States through our nonprofit peers.
So having said that, that is Rick Peck. Rick and I have already discussed. I told him we're having this call today, and I let him know that if anyone reaches out, tries to circumvent the system, you know, we're not looking for that. We're wanting people who want to get trained first. So you'll only be introduced warmly to your local community foundation if you're part of this program. If you're on a list of people that I send to Rick that have been vetted and trained and ready to go, because his name is on the line too. So here are the basic qualifications to be a part of what we're doing. We're looking for realtors. And by the way, we will be introducing other business people, financial advisors, CPAs, attorneys, even just, you know, local business people who understand social responsibility, etc. So some of you on here aren't realtors, but if you know realtors, let's get them in there first so that your friends are already in your community foundation. You can come in later. The reason it's realtors right now is because that's what Rick wants. So we're starting with that. So first of all, you need to be a full-time real estate agent. If you're not successful enough and entrenched in real estate enough to be a full-time realtor, this is probably not for you. We're looking for 5 years or more of experience in real estate simply because we don't need people who are brand new and don't understand clauses and how to write a contract. Having said that, if you have less experience than 5 years, you could still be considered if you are a go-getter and you have a big center of influence and you're a quick study. So full-time seasoned realtors. You need to be present for January 21st and January 28th, which are both Saturdays, from 12 until 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do a live Zoom right here on this link where we're going through the modules and what is a community foundation, who are the Amelia groups, and what are these funds that they have. We want you to walk in there so confident and so powerful in your language that the people that you are being introduced to are impressed and want to partner with us. So there's a whole training around that. So the 21st and the 28th. This is a 13-week program. Every Thursday from January 19th, which is just before that first training, just so we can all meet each other and get a lay of the land and make sure that you've got all the videos and things that you need. So January 19th through April 27th, we will be having these Zooms on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Now, look, I get it. People are sick. People have a kid that needs attention. People have an appointment that they need to go to. So I'm not saying you have to be at 100% of those Zooms, but the fact is, we're going to have Dr. Russell James giving a presentation. He's excited about what we're doing. Jim Wooten, who's with us today, who wrote Real Estate Gift, is going to come on and share his expertise with you in this field. I've got a friend of mine who teaches realtors how to leverage social media, Facebook specifically. We're going to be talking about press releases. I have a contact where we can all get press releases put out to our community for as little as $49 to have this company blasted out to 100 different places, or you can do it yourself. But over those Thursdays, we're going to get together. You're going to tell us, hey, Cami, I was introduced to my community foundation. Here's what happened. What do I do next? You know, what good, bad, or indifferent. We need the feedback, because this is a beta program that's being recorded. And after April, come May, we're going to do another 90 to 100-day program for the next round of people. And we're all going to learn from our experience. Like Rick said, this is kind of virgin territory, right? They're good at what they do. We're good at what we do, but now we're putting it together. We're going to have to feel it out a little bit. So I need you to be able to commit to being a part of those Thursdays and giving feedback. We need that. We need you to help us. Cami, that email that you gave me, here was the response I got. Can we make it better? Or, so some of the things we're going to be providing to you, for example, this is one of the signs that you've seen in our material that you could have printed. Everybody who's part of the Community Foundation Initiative, we're going to be sending you 2 of these. So think about it. Donate real estate. You choose the charity. We'll do the rest. This sign can go in the front lobby, the front reception area of your community foundation, because it doesn't mention a specific nonprofit. It's just really simple. You choose the nonprofit, we'll do the rest. This will work for anyone. Now, this one has the Rock logo on it. You can have some that are custom and put your logo and your community foundation's information on it, but just the generic one will be sent to you, and or we'll show you where you can get others created. I'll be sending everyone involved 2 copies of my book, Real Estate is Hot, Fundraising is Not, autographed, one for you, one for the Community Foundation. So when you walk in there, you can hand them the book and you can tell them, look, this is an initiative that's a first of its kind. And, you know, we're partnered with the author of this book. And it's because of the systems and strategies in this book that we're coming together so that we can bring hundreds of millions of dollars into this community. I've asked Jim if he'll provide his books, and whether it's a physical copy or whether it's the PDF of that. I think Jim's going to give us a hard copy. But we want people to know the credibility, the expertise. I actually met a guy on Dan Klatt, the church guy, is here with us today. I met a guy on his Zoom last week, Jeff Albee, who had a client in the last couple of years who donated $45 million worth of real estate to one nonprofit, and he handled all of that real estate, and he had no idea about the way that we do it. So he's going to be a part of the program, and he's going to come on and talk about his expertise. So the point is we got a lot of information here, and we need you to consume it and get really good at this. I'm going to share my screen and show you a couple of other things that are part of what we're doing. Let's see if I can get rid of that. So FYI, these are some of the topics we're going to be going over on those Thursdays at that Saturday, those 2 Saturday trainings, and that we'll continue to get into. We are going to explain to you what community foundations and the Amelia Group are. We're going to talk to these community foundations about real estate. Now, remember what Rick said. Some of them, if you're in a community, and I'm going to show you the list of towns in just a minute, if you're in one of the communities that has an Amelia Group community foundation, awesome. They did not get to $500 million in assets without taking non-cash assets, and they already take real estate. If you're in an area where your community foundation is not part of the Amelia Group, it may not have ever taken real estate before, but either way, we're going to give you the questions that you can ask so that you can really get in there and build relationship and rapport about what do they take for real estate? What are their criteria? How can we help them? We're going to teach you how to plan a 101 or a Q&A overview for the Community Foundation and its nonprofits. So as part of the program, I'll come in and do the presentation for you. If you want to do the presentation yourself, that's even better because we want you to be the expert in your marketplace. But as part of the program, we're going to customize the first and the last slide of the 101 presentations so that you and your information are on there. You're being co-branded with us, and your information and phone number, etc., are on the end of it so people know how to reach out to you. We are going to show you, look, all these case studies we have. If you have not been to therock.com, Alan, if you want to put this in the chat, please. Therock.com/donations. Don't go down the rabbit hole right now. Just save it. There are 14 case studies with Realty Give Fund, and there are 2 more with Jim Wooten. And in between there are a lot of links to things that we found on social media and in emails about all these donations that are happening. Friends, we've got to start sharing these case studies in our feed, in our email, with the community foundations that we go and spend time with. We're going to provide you a press release. The press release that we have, I actually have it. I'm not sure if I can pull it up right now, but it is phenomenal. We're starting with sending the press release to Patrick Keeler and Rick Peck in New Hampshire to get the press releases out and running. So we're going to show you how to write them. We're going to help you write them. We're going to show you how to get them out. We're going to talk about these social responsibility campaigns and how you can partner with these community foundations to have. Look, they all have sponsors with Verizon and, you know, Chrysler and car dealerships and jewelry stores and mortgage companies and insurance places. Like, all of them are sponsoring these community foundations and all nonprofits, first and foremost, because they're great people. But let's be clear. The second reason, and really the more important reason for them, is because it helps them with their business. It makes them look really good to market their business with causes in mind. So once again, here are some experts that are going to be a part of this. Keith Eichley is also going to do a module with us, who has created Beyond Living, which is a shared housing nonprofit that these community foundations need to be introduced to. Les Winston is someone that we're now partnering with, who is part of American Endowment Foundation and helps people who are donating real estate and other big assets to actually earn an income off of their donation before the actual donation goes to the nonprofit. You have to kind of sit in to learn about it and understand it. So, having said all that, let me show you a list of some of the towns that we are in. I want to say first and foremost, California and Florida. Because Alan and I are here in Florida, traveling Florida, because we have a CE course that's been verified by the Florida Real Estate Commission, which gives us all a big feather in our cap, I can tell you that there's only one Amelia Group community foundation here, but there's another 40 or 50 community foundations in Florida that aren't part of the Amelia Group, but you can still participate and we can still bring it to them. I'm actually going to be doing a campaign with all of the Florida community foundations in another month or two when we got a little bit of time to work it out. But I'm going to reach out to all the community foundations personally through Rick. This is all about warm introduction. And I'm going to let all of them know, listen, we could individually, every one of your community foundations could host a CE course. We could get 30, 40, 50 realtors to come to your community foundation because they all have a beautiful room where they hold meetings and things. And so we might do a campaign like that here in Florida. In California, California is so huge. They have the California Community Foundation, which is in LA. And then they have the San Diego Community Foundation, which are the two that I remember that are on the Amelia Group list. But they got another 80 in California that aren't Amelia Group. But some of you are going to have to, what we're doing is we're really wanting to focus on the Amelia Group first. So whoever here takes a spot, great. When we go out and market this to the public next week, it's going to be specifically where the Amelia Groups are, because they're just more likely to understand what we're talking about. They've all met Rick. They all already drank the Kool-Aid, as he likes to say. So that's what we're marketing to. But if you're here and you're in Sacramento, California, Claudia, one of our fabulous rock stars, we're going to introduce her to the community foundation there. It's not part of the Amelia Group, but that's a big deal too, because we can tell those community foundations, hey, listen, if you want to be a part of the Amelia Group and be managing 500 million or more, you need to step into what they're doing, which is accepting real estate and being a part of this movement. So let me see if I can find the towns. Let me actually show you the original list. So Amelia Group, Silicon Valley, Philadelphia, Kansas City, Tulsa, Chicago, Oregon. Now I went and looked and found the subcategories. So some of these Amelia Group, for example, the foundation for the Carolinas, when I go to that website, there's 13 counties that they also support, and they have a Jewish community for Charlotte, and they have a Black philanthropy foundation. So some of these have many regions and areas that they oversee and are partnered with. And those are some of the counties there from the Carolina one. California, New York Trust. So now this New York one is also in Long Island and Westchester. Now, see, we've got a rock star, Michael DeShavy, right in Brooklyn. It's not an Amelia Group, but it's got a community foundation. Columbus, Ohio, Jim Wooten has already got that one tied up. The San Francisco Foundation, Boston Foundation, Community Foundation of Texas. I mean, think about how huge Texas is. There's going to be a lot of subsidiaries there, including Frisco, Austin, Rio Grande, Oklahoma City, Seattle, St. Paul, Omaha, Pittsburgh. Some of these are repeated, the St. Paul one. Denver Foundation. I'm actually flying out to Denver in February. They're doing the top 100 realtors celebration there, and I'm giving away 3 champion packages to be a part of what's going on out in Denver. Richmond, Virginia. This one here in Colorado, Canada. Not really sure what we're going to do with that because it's not the same tax law there. Memphis, so the Hartford Foundation, Connecticut, all these towns are mentioned on their website. Detroit, Arizona. Arizona has a lot. Now we've got Tamisa Leiden here with us. She's in Scottsdale. She's going to get one of these areas, but you know, there's, and friends, the answer to your question about, is this exclusive? Do I have an exclusive territory that nobody else is going to get into? No, absolutely not. And here's why. We do not want anyone that is so limited in their thinking that they want to hoard their town and they think that they could take the hundreds or thousands of donations of listings that can come into that area. Think about like here in Florida, there are 2,400 nonprofits per county. There's 160,000 nonprofits in this state. There's so much abundance. And friends, you need to hope that there are 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of you in your town, because ultimately anything that you bring to the table is your listing anyway. So if you have some collaborative friends who are helping to promote this, guys, this is just like, you know, when short sales started, nobody knew what a short sale was. But over time, everybody now knows what a short sale is. Same thing here. We need more people to know how this works. And if you've got other realtors in your marketplace to partner with, hallelujah. Let's see what else we got in here. Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Rhode Island, Indiana. Now this is Houston, Maine, Louisville, Kentucky. So this is a short list. Atlanta. When Rick sent me this list, he said, you know, this is the beginning of the list. These are just the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Baton Rouge, Hawaii, Michelle is one of our agents out in Hawaii. I think she's on the Big Island, but when I went to this website, they have them on different islands out in Hawaii. We need somebody different for every island. Gulf Coast Community Foundation is in Sarasota. That's the only one in Florida. So let me finish by sharing with you what the investment is, because we have to pay our team to create some marketing, and all of this training has got to, the videos have got to get edited, etc. So it's not free, but it is so nominal of a cost. I'm just going to go ahead and go through that and explain it to you, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. So, requirement. Everyone who works with the Real Agents of Change, the basic foundational product or certification, right? Charitable real estate specialist. You have to be a charitable real estate specialist, which includes the recording of the master class. So there's 2 master classes coming up before this all begins. Next Tuesday on January 3rd, and then January 17th, I believe it is. You have to sit in on a master class. If you haven't been to one, it's mandatory. If you have, you still want to sit in because we've added some stuff. So if you can't make it to one of those 2 live ones, when you become a specialist, you do get the recording, and you have to watch it before this whole thing starts. It is the basic core of what we do. So the specialist, you get the recording for the master class, you get certified, you take a test and you get certified, and you get put on the map, the placement on the map, which I can show you right now what the map looks like. So as that's coming up on this map, as you hover over the map, it pulls up the different states, and you'll see the people in your area that are certified. So map, certification, recording of masterclass to be a specialist is $97. So you need to do that first. It's the first thing, have to do that. Then second is the charitable real estate champion. So now that you're on the map, now that you're certified, the champion package gives you access to training modules. For example, one of our concepts is the 7 P's from purpose to payoff. And the videos for that are in that package. You have to watch those too, because it's going to be super important for our mindset. Champion package, you get access to lots of marketing material like the signs that I just showed you. There's 60 social media posts in there that you can get that are generic social media posts. There is a once a week training at 6 p.m. Eastern Thursday for people who are part of the champion package to do strategy with me. You'll get a landing page that looks something like this one. Jim Wooten has a beautiful page, and if you go to his page, you can actually go ahead and get a free copy of his book. If you come down to the bottom of it, you'll see where you can get his book, a PDF of it for free. So you'll get a landing page like this that is co-branded with us. We'll put our interview right here on your landing page that's been branded. You'll get a Zoom background that can be branded as well. Actually had one created for John, the auctioneer, yesterday. It looks great. It's got all of his credentials along the side. So you get that as part of being a champion as well. Now the champion package is $97 a month for people who only want to do a month to month and don't want a contract. But for you guys, because you're a full-time realtor, because you're not, pinching pennies to pay your rent, like you're a serious long-term real estate agent, it ain't nothing but a thing to just pay the $9.97 for the champion. It's for a year. That way you're getting 2 months free as opposed to $97 a month. And when we do the $9.97 for the year, that's when you get the custom landing page and the custom Zoom and a few other custom things. As a matter of fact, If you go to therock.com/store, if you go to the store, you'll see everything that is included with the champion package. So at the store site, don't worry about paying for the masterclass. It's part of the specialist package. You click here to become actually, if you click here to become a specialist, it says $400. Alan, if you can put in the chat, please, therock.com/Beyond Living. You need to go to the Beyond Living link to get it for $97. I'll explain why that is another time. It's not important. You just need to know that's where you can go get the specialist for $97 is at the /Beyond Living link. Now, when you come into the store, you come to the champions, you click on learn more, and you can learn all about all the things that are included in the champion package. You also get a custom roadmap, this thing over here to the right, which I'll explain another time. This is a way that you can also explain what we're doing here. And you'll get a copy of the book, which in this program, you're going to get a couple of them anyway. So specialist, $97, champion, $997. And for those who are part of this program, we have the custom package. So Community Foundation collaboration, we have a new marketing package. So for those of you who are already a champion, yay. The only thing you need to do is get the Community Foundation marketing packet for $397. The team is working on this right now. In this packet, not only is it about the collaborative, but we're also creating some special marketing around April, which is List a Legacy Listing Month. So List the Legacy Listing Month is an actual thing on the day, International Cookie Day and Take Your Kid to Work Day and all those things on all those calendars. You'll see List the Legacy Listing Month is April. And we're going to be providing marketing for that too, because as you guys are coming into this in January, we need to lead right into List the Legacy Listing Month. So the $997 is for the extra marketing. There's going to be that custom stuff with the 101s, all this training that we're doing over the next 13 weeks, etc. So the moral of the story is it's $1,500 to be a part of this, but if you're already a champion, it's only $400 for the extra marketing. Now, having said all of that, the masterclass is next Tuesday. So for those of you who aren't certified yet, you're like, I don't even know what this is. I'm not even sure what charitable gifting of real estate is. Come to the masterclass. The live ones are free. When you sit in the masterclass and you see the magnitude of what we're talking about here, and you want to be a part of this, that I still need you to message me and make sure that you qualify. Because if you're one of those people who is going to make an excuse about why they can't come to the trainings, and look, these Saturdays are super important. A couple of you have already said, Cami, I'm on vacation on one of those days and 2 other weeks. Can I? No, you can't catch up, but you can be a part of the next one that is happening in May when we redo this again in May. So just know that the next time we do it, you'll have the same commitment. So on that note, I want to stop sharing the screen and open up for any questions that you have about what we're talking about.
Yes, I have a question. Reference to the January 3rd and 17th, we can attend either of those master classes before we become certified. That's what you're saying?
Yes. So, well, you could pay the $97 right now, get the recorded version of the master class and watch it over the weekend, take the test, be certified, and be on the map before we even have the master class next week. I'm just saying that if you want to, jump in the pool and see how it feels before you do something here, then come to the master class next week for free. But once you've taken the master class, then it's time to become a specialist and a champion and be a part of this specific marketing plan.
is the test, is it very intensive or just a general multiple choice type test?
It's multiple choice. There are 50 questions, I believe. You have to have an 85 to pass. And any one of the people on here who've taken the test, Deborah, Carlin, Alan, Tamisa, any of them would tell you it's, as long as you paid attention in the class, it's pretty straightforward. The only people that I've had that haven't passed have gotten an 81. And then they, and sometimes I'll give them a little leeway because they needed an 85 to pass. But don't worry about that. You'll get it. You're a smart guy. I've met you before.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, cool. Mhm. I do have another question. Sorry, y'all. Because I got on a little late. I mentioned, I know he was talking about, I guess, a guy named Rick about, I guess organizations or foundations receiving real estate. What about like certain nonprofits who don't have any type of real estate assets yet, but are looking to, own real estate? How would that
Sure.
play in?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking. So the Community Foundation collaboration is like the advanced version of the Real Agents of Change. When you come into the master class, when you become certified and all that, you'll learn that what we've been doing for the last 3 years has been talking to the nonprofits that need to get funded, and they're wanting to learn about real estate, and nonprofits come to the master class and they can get certified and they can get put on the map for a lot of different reasons. So you'll learn how to talk to those nonprofits. Here's what we found, Master Binds. This is why this is so important. Gifts of real estate. It is such a simple concept. In a nutshell, this has been happening since 1917, been around for 100 years. We didn't invent the tax deduction, the government did. And because of this tax deduction, people who donate anything get massive tax benefits. In our case, it's real estate. They avoid capital gains tax. They can write off the appraised value as the basis for their tax deduction. So there's a lot of financial benefit for the right people. It's been happening for 100 years. $9 billion a year is already donated to nonprofits through gifts of real estate. And whether that sounds like a lot or a little, the fact is that's only 2% of what nonprofits are bringing in. They bring in 474 billion collectively annually. So even though cash is only 3% of what we have, 90% of what they take in is cash, pocket change. But 43% of our wealth as a nation is in real estate. Yet only 2% of what they've been bringing in is coming from real estate. And the reason for that is because it's complicated and it's risky and it's scary and it costs money and time and resources and manpower, and it diverts them from their goal of their mission. It creates mission drift. So 99.9% of nonprofits are not taking real estate because it's so scary. Even when it's offered to them, they turn it down. And they're definitely not asking for it because they're so afraid of it. So having said all of that, 3 years ago, when I saw all of this, I realized, wow, we've got a way to leverage this under-leveraged, underutilized way to fund these nonprofits, because with our partner that you'll learn about at the master class, you're a little bit behind the 8 ball from some who've already been to the master class. But what you'll learn about is we have a specialized nonprofit that makes this risk-free, no money out of pocket for any of the 1.5 million nonprofits. And it just makes it easy. So all they have to do, all the nonprofit has to do is tell people. All they have to do is tell people, but nonprofits have a hard time shifting and embracing something new. They're like a big oil tanker on the ocean that is having you got to get 10 tugboats to push it to get it to move 1 degree. So the nonprofits are just kind of stuck in their old-fashioned thinking and their limited scarcity mindset. I don't know anybody that would donate real estate. Well, how would you know? Because you've never asked. So with all that being said, having these community foundations who are doling out tens of millions of dollars each. The New Hampshire Community Foundation, which is actually called the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation, gave out $66 million in grants last year to over 1,000 nonprofits. So when we are partnering with these community foundations and we can help them see, oh, you mean all those hundreds and thousands of nonprofits who love us and respect us and are grateful to get our grant money for $5,000, et cetera. You mean we can help them understand it's okay. Gifts of real estate are happening. This is our team. It's going to help to remove any of that scarcity mindset. I don't know. I've never heard of this. Let me think about it. This has given us a way to really just jump right into that community and say, look, Rick Peck puts his stamp of approval on it. We can help you to remove any risk. And for the community foundations that are already accepting real estate in their own backyard, praise God, let them do that. We need to let them know they can benefit from real estate anywhere in the country of any size with any mortgage on the property. It doesn't have to be free and clear. So the community foundation is our conduit. It's our bridge to get to hundreds and thousands of nonprofits in your marketplaces that are in that place of, I don't know, I've never heard of you before. What is this all about?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Questions? Alan, if there's anything that's come in the chat, I can't really see it out here. If there's anything I need to address, please let me know.
Handled.
Got it. Jim Wooten, would you like to throw anything in? Barbara Petrella, Jim and Barbara actually, along with myself and a couple of others, including Realty Gift Fund, met with Rick and 9 of the Amelia group about 6 weeks ago. We had a Zoom introducing them to this concept, and we had such rave reviews about it that 1 hour later, that's when Rick sent me that list and said, Cammie, carte blanche. Man, I'm going to introduce you to all of them. And I said, whoa, we need to put together a program. So Jim and Barbara have already started to be introduced. If you have anything you'd like to throw in, I'd love to hear it.
So I'm very glad that Rick was able to get me warmly introduced to the director of gifting at the Columbus Foundation here in Columbus, Ohio. And we've touched base and communicated. We're going to meet in January. And it's so nice to have a warm introduction like that, rather than me just picking up the phone, making a cold call and taking the first 15 minutes, prove, I'm not a con man or something. So it's great. And I am looking forward to this. I think it's the greatest thing that's ever happened in philanthropy. And it's amazing to me that, they're just waiting there. It's like in a church for somebody sitting in the pew for 30 years to volunteer. Would you take this vacant lot that I was donated to, for my family? I don't know what to do with it. And the church would say, no, we don't take real estate. Well, we're going to change that. And this is going to be the avenue. And I think it's going to snowball. I think that it's going to happen once. It's going to happen twice. They're going to get enthusiastic about it, and they're going to put it on their website. They're going to put it in their bulletin. They're going to put it in their newsletter. And one by one, they're going to get a result. And we're going to be right in the mix of it as trained experts through the certification process that Cammie and Alan have put together. It puts us, on a better platform, that we're experts in what we're doing. And, I learned a lot. I've been doing this for 25 years on the other side of this with getting gifts for the churches as they need it. And now this is the other side of it, where the donors can give. And anyway, I learned a lot in the program. Any of you that are on the fence about spending $97 to take that course, you take it, and you take it today. I took it, and even with all that I've learned over the last 25 years, I learned a whole lot that's going to help me in the future and be a benefit to all my clients. So go forward. Let's go to the top with this.
Thank you, Jim. When Jim Wooten of all people came to the table so enthusiastic, I thought, man, that's who was calling me forward when I learned about this 3 years ago. Thank you for that, Jim. Barbara, do you have anything to put to put in the pile here? Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you. I agree with everything that Jim said, and it's interesting because it's a continuing education, just like any field that you're in. I've learned from Cammie, I've learned from Jim, I've learned from Dan Klatz, who is the Church Guy Network on here, and then now we have Rick. We are just continuing to grow and learn from each other. So what you're going to find out, first of all, having Rick with his help and assistance in doing this is huge. It just takes out a lot of the guesswork, and it allows us to move forward systematically. And then what Cammie is doing with the courses in collaboration with all of these awesome people that she's bringing together, it's priceless. And just like Jim said, the value that you're going to get out of this now, and it will overlap. And that's what I see. It overlaps in my business, period. So it overlaps with the charitable giving of real estate. It overlaps with working with foundation. I was at a Christmas party and I met one of our vendors there, and they have a $2.5 million foundation. But this is going to be something that we discussed, and I'm going to share both when you talk to foundations as well as nonprofits or churches, the charitable giving of real estate, and it overlaps into the bargain sale and then the beyond living. So you are actually starting with an introduction of one thing, but you will find it overlaps in everything that you do, whether or not we're talking to foundation churches and so forth. But having these larger foundations and establishing these relationships, it gives you that future going ahead, talking to other groups and organizations. It gives you that like kind of stamp of approval. Oh, like you're working with them. And even in talking to some of the foundations and introducing myself, they're like everyone else. They're going to want to know who else is doing it, and they're going to be skeptical. So you have to go through the same process with them as everyone else, but it's more at a larger scale. Just like you have a church board here, you're going to have the initial contact, who's going to have to talk to the CEO, the person in development. So be patient in that process. Be very patient in that process, but it's definitely going to show when you talk to other nonprofits and so forth, our relationship with these foundations, it's just going to kind of give a stamp of approval, like, oh, so you guys do know what you're talking about. You're not just some fly on the wall. You are able to, work in many facets, and you're each going to pick a different one. So I'm very excited. And, I can't wait to a year from now when we follow up with our conversations to hear all the stories and things that are going to happen in the interim. So keep an eye out.
Thank you for that. And Patrick Keeler is another one that's already part of this, because he is our contact in New Hampshire, where Rick happens to be. And Patrick was saying the other day, he reiterated why this is so important. He said, Cammie, when I met you last year, I reached out to however many nonprofits I reached out to. And, there was that, well, we'll see, we'll talk about it, we'll put it in front of the board, And here we are a year later. Now, Patrick is going back to those same nonprofits and saying, hey, we're partnered with Rick Peck at the Community Foundation. And he says time after time, wow, what a difference. Now they're saying, oh, I know Rick Peck. When can we get on a Zoom? Oh, the Community Foundation's part of this. Well, why didn't you say so? So the warm introductions in your local communities, no matter how much, the real agents of change know about this, I'm still just an outsider. I'm this foreigner traveling the country in an RV. They still have to vet and think about it. And who is that? And I don't know her. And she's an out of towner. But when you guys are getting a warm introduction to your local community foundation, and you can walk in there and shake hands with them and hand them one of these signs and give them a book. And Rick and I have also created, when we did those videos yesterday, we have a video of him talking to the Amelia Group. Hey, peers and colleagues, this person that we're introducing you to, Cammie's people, and you're going to be introduced to Tamisa, and you're going to be introduced to Carlin, etc. So there's a video of him telling them why they want to work with us. There's a video of Rick talking to the community foundations that aren't in the Amelia Group, letting them know, hey, community foundations are doing this all over the country. If you want to be a part of the Amelia Group, you need to start taking real estate. There's a video that he's created to nonprofits in general. So Master Binds, what we're going to do is we're going to provide all of these to you so that you can send them to people. Now, we don't want you just willy-nilly reaching out to these community foundations. That completely circumvents the whole point of having a warm introduction and training. So, the warning is right now. If you're going to go do this on your own, then go do it on your own, but don't mention the real agents of change, and don't expect to come back and clean up a mess when you cold called somebody and it didn't go well. We can't have people watering down what we're doing, bastardizing the system. It's a really simple system. It's $1,500. If you don't have $1,500, you should not be a part of this program. If you can't pay your rent, you're not who we're looking for. So it's really that simple. Questions, comments, let me know what you got going on.
Well, I'm just excited to collaborate with Rick here in New Hampshire and New England, Cammie, and it's kind of like the coming off the Mayflower, right? Plymouth Rock, with charitable gifting of real estate. So I'm just wanted to share. I'm very excited about no longer having to push rocks up a hill or push a rope. It felt like some days, and I see you smiling, Cammie. So I'm just really excited that this collaboration and however you two hooked up came about. And I'm just really stoked. It's reignited the fire in me for charitable gifting again. So thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. I didn't see you on here, so I'm glad you spoke up. Patrick is he's the one that's hand in hand with Rick, and we created a press release for them to send out. I don't know if you were on at the beginning, Patrick, but I have a contact as of yesterday that can actually send our press releases out for $49. They'll get them out to 100 outlets, and for a lousy $3.99, they will guarantee to get you in Yahoo Finance. And friends, let me tell you something. Part of what we're going to share with you is my article about the Real Agents of Change and Yahoo Finance, and the article that was written about us in the Business Observer in Sarasota. $3.99, so that you can say to people, have you seen my article in Yahoo Finance? Worth every penny. You can't pay for that kind of publicity. Well, you can for $3.99, and it's worth every penny. So just FYI about that. If you have a nonprofit, you need to get that press release out and be featured on Yahoo Finance as well. I do know that there's, go ahead.
Just another question while you're on that subject, and maybe it's too soon. Are we going to be working as far as marketing, doing some type of technology where there is a tab or a link that they can put on their page? Is that in the works as well?
It's in the works, but what I can say, Barbara, is we will have some specific language for them to put on their website. As far as a widget or something fancy, I don't know. I'm going to have to see what Keith Eichley can come up for that. But what we need to know is, do they want you, the rock star, to be the go-to? Do they want their planned giving person to be the go-to? In other words, for the last 3 years, when people say, what's next? What do we do next? My response to that is always, well, what do you want to do next? Because some of these nonprofits, community foundation or not, some of them hold their stuff close to their chest, and they don't want us talking directly to their donors. They want to field the phone calls. And some of them say, I got more going on than I can even handle right now. I want you to talk to them. I had people this week, I had both things happen. Cami, I don't have time for this, but I'm happy to put it on my website if you'll field the calls. Great. So even if we don't have a fancy widget, Barbara, if we can simply get on their website that here's Barbara's name and phone number, here's the list of a basic Q&A, call us if you got questions. Let's at least get that on there. And remember what we talk about all the time. There's a difference between being reactive and proactive. I'll tell you right now, Parkinson's.org, 3 years ago, when we met them, they put it on their page. And they put it on their page, which is a fancy page, tons of links and tabs. And they've never had anything come in because they put it on their page and they're waiting to react if someone ever happens to finally click enough links to finally make it there. And nothing's happening. I can't even get the executive director to return my phone call. So react versus being proactive. We want them to put it on their site, but we want them to put it there so that they can invite people to go there, so that they can host a 101 overview, so that they can invite the other nonprofits in the area or their donors to come learn about it, so that we can get people to go to that page. Teach them to be proactive.
Cami, did Rick say anything about the foundations having internal real estate departments?
We haven't talked about them having internal real estate departments. What we have talked about is one of the things to me so that he's helped me with that we didn't know in the beginning. I felt like when I was going to a community foundation, if I talked to them about, do you take real estate? Their initial response to that is, yes, we take it. We're all set. And so it was almost like we were like competition to them, that we were trying to facilitate real estate, but they already facilitated it, so they didn't need our help. What Rick has helped me to see is just a simple tweak in language. We don't want to help them facilitate. We want to help them find it. We want to help them. The word he uses, we feed them deals, we feed them volume of real estate. But keep in mind, the community foundations that do take real estate, and of course I haven't studied and haven't talked to 1.5 million nonprofits to know specifically, but typically, even if they do have a real estate department, and even if they do take real estate, if it's mortgage free, if it's vacant, if it's in their county. In other words, it fits in such a small, tiny box that if they want to facilitate the mortgage-free vacant property in their county, great. What we're saying to them is, let us help you find real estate. Let us help you expand your mindset to being able to benefit from real estate anywhere in the country and anywhere in the world. And as I was writing up some of the modules today in the training to me, so one of the things that we want to wrap our heads around is, when we walk in there to talk to them, and we've got a list of questions that you guys can, have a friendly conversation. Hey, do you take real estate? Awesome. Tell me about a fun story that you had. Tell me about a horror story that you had. What qualifies for you, etc. In that little 30-minute conversation, you'll find out, yeah, they got a real estate department. It's her husband, the attorney, and this other guy over here that's part-time. And they've only ever taken 2 pieces of real estate. And the reason they don't ask for it is because it took months and it was such a nightmare that they don't even try to find real estate because they don't even want to deal with it. So we're not going in there to try to have them use us to facilitate it. We're going in there to build rapport so that they learn Oh, there is a better way to do this, but we're not coming in there with that as our first part of the conversation, because that feels to them like competition. We already take real estate. We have a real estate department. We're all set. What we're learning is, awesome, Mary, you have a real estate department? Man, you're in the top 0.5% of nonprofits. Congratulations to you for being so visionary. Tell me, how many pieces have you taken in the last couple of years? Great. You know, what's your criteria? And if you talk to her long enough, she's going to say, you mean we don't have to do this shit anymore? You can help? Yeah, we can help.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Tammy, I just wanted to tell people that, if you don't mind, that I spoke with a group yesterday, a foundation, and they actually have a real estate agent on their board. So they get all nervous, exactly what Cammie just said, they got all nervous about it, until I had a conversation with that person and assured her that anything that comes in for a gift of real estate for them in that area, she would be the representative for that gift of real estate. And I introduced her then to this group, and she knows who we are. And that put her mind at ease, because guess what? Any one of us, and we're all real estate brokers or agents, we are used to saying, hey, would you like a referral, right? Is there anybody here that will take a referral? If I called you and I tell you there's a seller in your neighborhood, who here is going to take that referral? There you go. So once I told her that, guess what? Now we're not a threat, because I think at first when the founder of the organization spoke to me, she probably felt like it might be a threat. And if you ask them also if they have anyone in real estate on their board, that's the next conversation you want to have. And it just helps a lot.
Well, and thank you for that, Deborah. And, you know, I don't want to get too far in the weeds with this, guys. I mean, the fact of the matter is, even if they do take real estate, I guarantee you they don't take it from any state, from anywhere in the world, with mortgages of any size, et cetera, et cetera. So we're not here to try to force them to use our team to facilitate real estate. We're here to open their minds. And I want to open all of your minds. The abundance is so massive. If they've got a realtor on their board, good for them. That realtor ain't got a clue what we're doing. They are completely ignorant about how this works. And at the end of the day, when we go in there with our big girl panties and our big boy underoos, as I like to say, and we show up professional, well-versed, understanding how this works. We're just going in there to start helping them find gifts of real estate, because the chances of the real estate being in that one realtor's neighborhood and being something that they can and will handle versus all the referrals. Think about it. The donors on their donor list have second homes in Florida and chalets in the mountains and strip malls in other states and ranches. What if you made a couple $100,000 a year off of referral fees from real estate that's not even in your marketplace? And let me leave you with this too. This isn't just about the donations of real estate. As was mentioned earlier, it's about the credentials and the credibility and the conversations that are sophisticated that you can have with people that will hire you because you are in a collaboration with the community foundation, their board members, their staff, people on their social media, people that aren't even part of that nonprofit, but know that you're part of their charitable real estate division. They're going to hire you because you're on purpose. You're doing something big. This other guy over here is mailing magnets of the upcoming football schedule to try to get business. And you're helping to fund nonprofits by the millions. So it's just a really good business development element. Any last thoughts? We're right at an hour and I really want to respect your time. I want you guys to, you've all got my cell number. Alan, if you can please put my cell number in the chat, my email address. And of course, you guys know how to reach me. That's why you're here. You got here because you got something from me. If
Hey,
you got a
Cammy,
question,
Connie had her hand up.
okay. Hey, Connie.
Hi, how you doing? I just want to make a comment here. I've watched you grow this now for the last, what, year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And this is going to take you leaps forward. So I'm super excited about working with you about this. I have a nonprofit. I'm not a realtor, so I look at it a little bit differently. And Cammy's on my board. So I just am really excited about pushing this forward. Thank you.
Well, thank you for saying that. And nonprofits, see another part of this, we're teaching you how to leverage real estate for real change in lots of ways. I've told Connie, and Connie, I was actually going to share this with you. She's a nonprofit. And I said, as a nonprofit, you will want to communicate with community foundations in your community because they're granting out money. They could give you a $5,000 or $10,000 or $100,000 grant this week because you reached out to them and you applied for a grant and you spoke with them. So Connie, I was asking Rick about that because Connie has got a nationwide movement. She's registered in Las Vegas, but she wants to do what she does everywhere. So what you want to do, Connie, when you reach out to those community foundations, like when you're wanting to get those kits for kids in schools, you need to don't talk so much about it being a nationwide thing. Let them know, I want to get 100 kits for kids into the school system in Sacramento, in San Diego, in Detroit. In other words, you want to speak directly to their community because they're only going to give you money to do something that helps their community. So typically you only reach out to your community foundation where you locally are, but that's how you do it. That's how you kind of circumvent the system. You let them know you're doing it right there in their community. Okay, guys, I'm going to send out this recording. Go to the store. If you're already a champion, pay for the marketing packet so we can secure your spot in your town. Send me a text or an email or a Facebook message. Cammy, I've purchased the marketing packet. Here's the city and state that I want to secure. If it's in the Amelia Group, great. If it's not, so what? Let's help them get in the Amelia Group with your help. And that's it. If there is anything left, no, yes, no. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Let's rock this thing. 2023 is the year for the Real Agents of Change to bring hundreds of millions of dollars to the nonprofit world. And if you get paid to do it, so much the better. Bye, everybody.
Thank
Bye,
you.
thanks.
Bye.